How's it going, ladies and gents? How are you guys doing? Back again here with another football video, and I'm going to be talking to you about today how the Netherlands could have easily won four World Cup finals. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm probably crazy for saying this, but really, the Netherlands, without a doubt, when it comes to underachieving in football, a lot of people see that England are the biggest underachievers. Well, the difference is England have won a World Cup, while the Netherlands have never won a World Cup in their history. And I thought I would explain to you how they could have easily how they could have won four World Cups if they had just made these simple changes and if they had not made these mistakes. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Because what inspired me to make this video was a YouTube user that goes by the name of Rain here, where he talked about how Johan Cruyff kept the Dutch from winning a World Cup. But I thought I would bring my own version here and explain to you about what I think prevented the Netherlands from winning any World Cup in their history. So without further ado, let's get started. Because first of all, you got to go back to the 1974 World Cup. That's because the Netherlands in the 1974 World Cup were without a doubt the best team, and that will go down as the greatest team to never win a World Cup, because that team was stacked with talent. Because if say that 1974 team was competing in the 2010 World Cup against 2010 Spain, I think that the 1974 Dutch team would have definitely defeated Spain in the 2010 World Cup final, and they probably would have gone on to win, I guess, two, three straight World Cups, especially the one in Brazil and maybe the one in Russia in 2018 if that team was around today in their prime. Now, that's just the way how I see it. Because prior to the 1974 World Cup, Jan Beveren was considered the best keeper in Dutch football history. But what happened was that he had some sort of feud with Johan Cruyff, and I think that the biggest mistake was that they made it way too public with this feud. I don't know why they would go public with this feud. I think it was done because it just led to a distraction, a bunch of division, and ultimately Jan Beveren was not selected for the 1974 World Cup squad despite having the talent. And I think that if Jan Beveren was selected for that 1974 Dutch squad, then I personally think that the Netherlands would have won that 1974 World Cup final against West Germany. That's just the way how I see it, because Jan Beveren was equivalent to what Neuer was in the 2014 World Cup, an incredible keeper, just delivered clutch performances, and Jan Beveren definitely would have delivered a heck of a performance in the final. Now, that's just the way how I see it. And then you have to take a look at the 1978 World Cup. So in conclusion, I think that if Jan Beveren was there, then they would have definitely won the 1974 World Cup. Now, let's go into conclusion, into a theory number two. And because as you guys know, after losing the 1974 World Cup final against West Germany, the Netherlands made it yet to another World Cup final in 1978 without Johan Cruyff, because the year before the 1978 World Cup was supposed to take place, it was like, I think in June or November, Johan Cruyff was subject to a kidnapping attempt in Barcelona, and that's what led him to retire from Dutch football. And because of that kidnapping attempt, Johan Cruyff basically ended his career with the Netherlands football team. And I do feel like that if Johan Cruyff was not the subject of a kidnapping attempt, and if he had actually if he was part of that 1978 World Cup squad in Argentina, then I think that the Netherlands definitely would have won that 1978 World Cup. But they played well in the 1978 World Cup final, because despite falling down 1-0 against Argentina, they were able to equalize, and then they almost scored a game winner. But Rob Rensenbrink's shot hit the post, and that's what practically killed the Netherlands' momentum of winning any World Cup, in my personal opinion. Because after that, Mario Kempes delivered a clutch performance. He scored a G, and then Bertoni scored, and then Argentina won the 1978 World Cup 3-1. So Argentina were actually a really good team before Maradona and Messi arrived. And I don't know what's been going on to Argentina's football team lately, but Argentina's football team has just been a complete mess, and I hope that they sort things out so that Messi can maybe win an international trophy, which might likely not happen unless Messi continues to stay in top form and all that stuff. So in conclusion, say that Rob Rensenbrink makes that goal, the Netherlands definitely defeat Argentina 2-1 in the 1978 World Cup final. Now, this is just an alternative theory, because they were close to stoppage time, and Netherlands were pushing for a game winner, but unfortunately they didn't get it because of bad luck. Now, that's just the way how I see it. So then they ended up losing the 1978 World Cup final, and then it would be another 32 years before they made it to the World Cup final in 2010 in South Africa. And in 2010 in South Africa, Netherlands, in my opinion, were without a doubt the best team at that World Cup, because they were playing incredibly well. Wesley Sneijder, Arjen Robben, Van Persie, Huntelaar, Giovanni van Bronckhorst, Martin Stekelenburg. That was possibly the last time, the Netherlands were really good in the 2014 squad, which I'll touch on later in this video. But if I had to pick either of those two, I would say that the 2010 Netherlands squad was way better than the 2014 Dutch World Cup squad, because in 2010, they were playing very, very well. They didn't lose any games. The only game that they lost in that World Cup was the final against Spain. But in that World Cup final, in some aspects of the game, the Netherlands outperformed Spain, such as long balls, because everyone remembers that crazy long through ball that Wesley Sneijder made to Arjen Robben. Because Arjen Robben, in my opinion, I don't know how he missed that, but in my personal opinion, the biggest mistake that Robben made in that final was not going around Casillas and then just scoring an empty netter, because Robben had excellent world-class speed at that World Cup. And, you know, when Robben was one-on-one with Casillas, instead of going around, Robben tried to shoot the ball past Casillas, but Casillas was the best keeper in the world at that time, and Casillas saved Robben's shot, and then and then that kind of killed the momentum right there, because the Netherlands right there had momentum, because when it comes to a World Cup final, it's all about creating momentum, because if you can create the scoring momentum, then that's what can help you practically win a World Cup final, like how, for example, it was in the France-Croatia game. That's a penalty by Griezmann, just changed the complete momentum of the game. And say that Robben makes that goal, that the Netherlands, in my opinion, control the outcome of the game, and they go on to defeat Spain, I think, either 1-0 or 2-0, because there came another time that Robben had another chance to put a goal for the Netherlands when he was one-on-one with Casillas, but instead of chipping the ball over Casillas, he waited way too long. He tried rounding Casillas, and then Casillas just made that save, and Casillas just grabbed the ball. So in my opinion, I think that the biggest issue that the Netherlands had in that 2010 World Cup final was just, of course, fouling, because they had, 6 yellow cards or something, because they were just fouling the crap out of the Spanish football players. And then we had that karate kick where Nigel de Jong karate kicked Xabi Alonso. But still, those chances that Robben had, in my opinion, were very crucial to the Netherlands losing that World Cup final. Now, of course, Robben will still go down as one of the best players of his generation, one of the best wingers of all time, because a lot of people don't know Robben was incredibly well. It's just that he had a history of injuries, and if it wasn't for the injuries, Robben probably would have won at least, I'd say, 2 Ballon d'Ors, because that's how good Robben was. He was definitely on Messi and Ronaldo's level, in my personal opinion, because his left foot was just incredible, and nobody could stop his cut inside and shoot trademark move. That will go down as one of the best, if not the best, move in football history. So the 2010 World Cup final goes into extra time, and one surprising thing that happened in extra time was that the Netherlands were denied a set piece, because there was a time before Iniesta scored that goal for Spain in which the Netherlands, they had a free kick, but I forgot whose free kick it was, but it deflected off of a Spain's player out of bounds, and then it looked like that they were going to be given a set piece opportunity, but the referee just decided to allow Casillas to kick the ball deep, so practically the referee just allowed a goal kick. And after that, that's what led to Iniesta's game-winning goal. But in my personal opinion, the Netherlands right there defended very poorly on that, especially because they left Iniesta wide open in the box. And I feel like that they also gave Iniesta way too much space in the box. And then Iniesta scored that G to win the World Cup final for Spain. And, hey, that Spain squad was absolutely legendary. But when it comes to playing better in the final, Spain definitely did play better in the final, but in some aspects of that game, the Netherlands outperformed Spain, like how I mentioned before, in terms of long balls. Now, let's go all the way to the 2014 Netherlands squad in Brazil, because in 2014, that's the last time the Netherlands were really, really good in a tournament, because since then they experienced a downhill in their football history, but since then they've been actually showing lots of improvement, and they could actually be a very promising team for Euro 2021 and for the Euro Nations League. But anyways, so, in the 2014 World Cup, the Netherlands, once again, Robben delivered one of the best performances in international football history. Robben was once again crucial to that Netherlands team's success, and then we were met with the emergence of Depay as well in that World Cup. And then Van Persie, I don't know what happened to Van Persie, but Van Persie kind of underperformed, in my opinion, at the World Cup in Brazil. He only had 2 good games, in my personal opinion, the one against Spain and then the one against Australia, because after that, Van Persie, he just absolutely didn't show up in any games, if that's the best way to say it. And after that, so first game against Spain, the Netherlands win 5-1. That's right, 5-1. Robben delivers a crazy performance. And then the next game, they won against Chile. And then, I think it was Chile, because then they played Chile and Australia after that. I think the next game was either Australia. I think it was Australia where they won 3-2. And after that, they won 2-0 against Chile. But if I mixed it up, just correct me. And then came that round of 16 game against Mexico. Netherlands won 2-1 after Snyder equalized close to stoppage time, and then Robin was awarded a penalty. And that play still remains controversial to this day because a lot of people are divided about whether Robin intentionally dived or whether Marquez fouled Robin deliberately. And then Huntelaar scored that game-winning penalty to win the game 2-1 for the Netherlands, and I actually did watch that game. That was a crazy game. And then came that game against Costa Rica, in which the Netherlands, they were struggling in extra time and then in regular time, and then they had to rely on a penalty shootout to defeat Costa Rica. And one crucial thing that Louis van Gaal made in that penalty shootout against Costa Rica was substituting Sillissen for Tim Krul, because Tim Krul saved 2 penalties. I think it was 2 or 3 penalties that he saved, and that allowed the Netherlands to advance to the semifinals against Argentina. And it looked like the Netherlands were going to defeat Argentina again, because there came a time in the game in which Robin came so close to scoring a stoppage time goal for the Netherlands, but he was tackled by Mascherano at the last second. But in my personal opinion, Robin held onto the ball way too long. He should have shot sooner, and I feel like that was just another mental mistake that Robin made when it comes to scoring when it matters, and that allowed Mascherano to do that crazy tackle on him, and that allowed the game to go into extra time. Now, one question that I have about that penalty shootout is, why did Louis van Gaal not bring on Tim Krul? Because in my opinion, he should have brought on Tim Krul. I don't know why he didn't do that, because I think that if he had brought on Tim Krul, the Netherlands definitely, in my opinion, probably would have won that penalty shootout against Argentina, because Jasper Sillissen couldn't save a penalty at all, and Tim Krul, he was able to save penalties. And when it comes to penalty shootouts, saving a penalty is a big necessity for winning a penalty shootout. I mean, you have to know how to save penalties. I mean, that's just the way how it is. And then the Netherlands, they ended up losing that penalty shootout to Argentina, and then it was an Argentina-Germany World Cup final in a rematch of the 1990 World Cup final in which Germany won. But in my personal opinion, had Tim Krul been in penalties, I think that would have allowed the Netherlands to defeat Argentina and then set up a rematch of the 1974 World Cup final between the Netherlands and Germany, because, hey, imagine a Netherlands-Germany World Cup final. That would have been a hell of a final. But it would have been tough to say if the Netherlands could have won that final, because Germany were just coming off of a crazy 7-1 victory over Brazil. But I still think that the Netherlands would have matched up very, very well against Germany, because Robin's speed and Wesley Sneijder's midfield brilliance probably could have made a difference in the World Cup final. See that they were playing against Germany. Now, I think that if that would have happened, then maybe the Netherlands could have beaten Germany as well to win and repeat as World Cup champions. Now, this is an alternative theory that I'm doing right now, but one of the best matchups that we never saw was the Netherlands-Germany 2014 World Cup final. Imagine if that would have happened. That would have been absolutely incredible, much like how I thought we were going to see a England-France World Cup final. Unfortunately, that did not happen. So, yeah, that's that. But, yeah, guys, so I think that because of these mistakes that I mentioned in this video, that's what really prevented the Netherlands from winning a World Cup. And if it just wasn't for these small mistakes, just these mental mistakes, and I think that they probably could have won 4 World Cups right now, because I think that they would have matched up pretty well against Germany's 2014 World Cup squad. Now, hey, that's just my personal opinion. I think that Robin's speed would have been too much for Germany's defense to handle, and Robin probably would have scored a G in the final and all that stuff. But anyways, guys, so that's been it here with the video. Let me know if you think I kind of messed up in this video. If you think I said anything wrong, just let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good one.